My name is Joe Reynolds of LowKickMMA. Today joining me is Peter Queally, ahead of Bellator. Just a few weeks away against Benson Henderson. He's seen as a legend in his own right. How are you feeling for that fight, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good. Few ups and downs in training, but it's generally trending up. So that's all you can ask for. I feel good.
100%. And last time it was an unfortunate loss to Pitt, but it puts you at 1-1 against each other. Obviously, you won't be overlooking Benson in any way, but do you see a trilogy fight being something that you want in the future, obviously?
Definitely. I'd like if it was for the belt, obviously, but even if it's not for the belt, I want to fight Patricky again. I feel like that's kind of unfinished. I think it's 1-1. And I think we need to kind of put a definitive end to that one and see who the better man is there. But hopefully I'll meet him for the belt, maybe after this fight or after my next fight.
100%. And then obviously it's been since last year in November, the last time that we saw you in the cage. Looking into now ahead of this bout in October, just looking at it, what would you say is the biggest difference in yourself as a fighter in terms of the improvements that you've been able to make in that time?
I feel like one of the things I've done for this one, I had quite a big shoulder surgery in March of this year that had been bothering me for a long time. So I got that fixed. That was so bad over the years that I wasn't able to weight train anymore. It was so painful. So I've actually been back weight training this summer for the first time in a long time. And I feel like that's good. I feel like I feel physically stronger. I feel kind of more sturdy in my body and stuff. It's not a feeling I've had for a few years, to be honest, with the shoulder. So I think that's a big thing that's going to help me in this fight, that I've been able to actually weight train for first time in a while.
Yeah, and when you are able to add those things back to training as well, does it sort of give you like a new element of motivation, in a sense, knowing that you've got new things that you can do in training that before you wouldn't be able to do? And it just sort of makes it a bit more diverse in what you are able to do for training.
Yeah, and that's a good word you use there, diverse. We train very hard, and you want to mix things up a bit so it doesn't get too monotonous, because, the week can become a bit of a grind if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. So it's always nice to be able to add in different elements of training that break up the week. And that has been a help for me as well with this. I've been able to weight train. I've been weight training 3 times a week as part of my training. So that has replaced a few other sessions. So it's made it kind of a bit more fun for me, a bit of a different feel for my camps now.
Yeah, now just touching back on the fight a little bit, obviously Benson Henderson, he's been around for years, pretty much since 2007. You can find him recorded there. To step into the cage with a legend like Benson Henderson, someone like that, is it a bit of a surreal one, knowing that you get in there, you win, you're looking at title fights, #1 contenders bout, by beating someone who a lot of martial artists have looked up to coming into the sport?
Yeah, I've actually been asked this question a couple of times before, and I'll give you the same answer. And it's that if you'd have told me, 10, 12 years ago, when I was sleeping in my car outside the gym, that I'd be one day headlining the Tree Arena here in Ireland against Benson, and I'd probably be more popular than him on the night, I would have laughed at you. I would have thought this was impossible. It could never happen. So it's amazing. It's a dream come true, honestly, is what it is. I sometimes need to stop and give myself a bit of a pat on the back that all my hard work has paid off, and that's where I am now, that I'm fighting these kind of fights, and in the ring with a guy like Benson is a big achievement, and I'm really looking forward to it.
100%. And then you touched on the Free Arena. Obviously, this fight, it's got to be the biggest fight in your career. Headlining at the Free Arena, the capital city of Ireland, obviously in Dublin. Talk me through, in terms of the walkout, how you feel that's going to be. You walk out into a crowd that's obviously going to be supporting you heavily in your own city as the main event. What does that feel like, knowing that you're going to be able to do something a lot of people in Ireland, obviously, coming through as fighters, have been just dreaming of being able to do?
Yeah, it's just I count myself very lucky that I can do this. It's a great privilege. Most fighters in Ireland, that's what you dream of. You dream of headlining the Tree Arena. I've done it twice now. So it's amazing. I'm so proud of myself. The walkout in itself, a lot of fighters will never experience any kind of experience like this in their entire career. And again, I've done it many, many times now. It's just, I'm very lucky. Can't wait for it. I'm wearing the blue gloves this time. That means I come out first. So if you saw my fight against Ryan Scope when I walked out first, the crowd will sang over his songs. You couldn't even tell what song he had. So, if you're talking to Benson, tell him not to bother with a walkout song. No one will hear it anyway. So it's going to be good. I can't wait.
Yeah, and now we take a look. Obviously, this year I believe he's scheduled with Kane Musa sometime last year. Is obviously you have things to say on social media with it, but do you see him as someone you want to face in the future to get that fight in there, or are you just sort of going to take the things as they come now, knowing that you are quite close to the title?
Who? Kane Musa?
Yeah.
No, I don't have much interest in fighting him, to be honest. That fight was kind of basically Bellator it kind of seemed to be the plan that I'd fight just some kind of UK guy in February, just as a kind of almost like a warm-up fight, and then I'd fight Benson or someone in the top 10 in September. That was kind of the plan all along. So then when I hurt myself and I couldn't do that fight, I don't really want to take a back step now. I just want to carry on with the plan and fight the top 10 guy, to be honest. Fighting Kane is not really going to do much for me. He's not ranked or anything. So, it's just better for me to fight someone closer to the, or in the top 5 or in the top 10, and that'll get me back to the belt quicker.
Yeah, and then to touch on sort of the Irish scene in MMA at the moment, you look at the regional scene. There's a lot of great guys coming out of SBG. You've the likes of, I believe you got Gary Rooney. There's so many people you could talk about. Maximus Lally, Nahom Weddy, so many people. And to see those people now progressing in the Irish scene as a whole, progressing in MMA, it's really come on in the last year, especially really quickly. So as an Irish fighter yourself, is it good to see that next generation are coming through and really making a statement, even on the global stage already, at just an amateur level, let alone the pro level?
Yeah, it's our standard here is very good. Anytime we send a team to, the IMAFs or the Europeans or the Worlds or whatever, they always win medals, and it's amazing considering the small population we have. And not only do Ireland have a small population, it's only about 5 million, but it's a teeny tiny micro percentage of that population that are actually training MMA. So it's a very small number, and they're actually still managing to win medals. So that tells me that the gyms and the infrastructure that's here in Ireland for training is working. And things are looking very bright for Ireland in terms of, MMA people coming through over the next few years. And like you said, you've named a few there, Gary Rooney and different guys. They're all excellent. And, that's the wave that's coming through. And I've no doubt they'll be successful.
Yeah, and now just to take a look back at the fight, obviously, we spoke about a little bit about Benson Henderson and the status he carries, but in terms of going into the fight and where you see your advantages being in what you think will be the deciding factor in the fight, what do you see as that being going into it?
Yeah, I think he's a great fighter, very well rounded. I think where I can kind of enjoy success is in the striking. I think I'm a bit better than in striking. I think I can kind of dominate the fight there. But it won't be easy. He's very good there as well. He's very good everywhere. I know this is not going to be easy. It's going to be a very tough 25 minutes or until I get him out of there. But that's where I can kind of see myself winning this fight, is just shut his wrestling down. I believe I can do that, and then I think I can win the striking exchanges.
100%. And then one of the last few things from me, obviously you spoke a little bit about wanting to get the trilogy for the title, if that can be happen. But in terms of looking at Bellator overall, in terms of what you'd be looking to achieve, what does that sort of look like in what you're wanting to accomplish in Bellator now that you are really close to, obviously, the staple part of what most Bellator fighters want being the belt?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's it. That's what I want. I need to win a few fights now to get back there. But I fought Patricky for the belt already. That was a dream of mine, to compete for the belt. I didn't succeed, but I just need to go back now. I know I'm of that standard. I'm the only guy in the top 10 with a win over the champion. People forget this, but I've beaten him already. I know I can beat him. So I just need to beat Benson. If the dominoes fall my way, then I think I might get a straight rematch with Patricky right away. Or at the very least, I think I'm one fight away after Benson to fight him again. So that's my plan, just to get this next win or 2 wins under my belt. and then get back into Upper Tricky to settle that one.
Yeah, and when you do get a taste of obviously the title shot and being in there, your chance to become a champion in a big promotion like Bellator, does it almost spur you on even further to go and chase getting that belt after getting the sort of taste of what it's like to be in that sort of fight and the build up to it and everything like that?
Yeah, I guess, but to be honest, I don't need any more motivation. I've always been I always try my hardest at everything I do. I don't really need to have some kind of specific thing motivating me. I give my all to everything I do, even small, minuscule tasks in life. I'm that guy. I always try my best. But yeah, it is nice when you're in that world title fight and you're getting all the media attention and people are talking about you, and this is all addictive and you want to chase that feeling again. So yeah, to answer your question, it's always nice to get acknowledged like that. And it definitely makes you hungry to experience that again. So yeah.
Yeah, and then one of the final things for me, obviously, a lot of the people going into this fight, they're going to know your name. It's in Dublin, you're headlining the card as well. But for those that maybe don't know too much about it, what is the one thing that going into this fight in the free arena, what is the one thing that they can always expect to see no matter what?
Well, when I'm fighting, you know what you can expect to see. You can expect to see an exciting fight. You can expect to see me in the middle of the ring, chasing my opponent, trying to punch the head off him, fighting, not trying to score points, not trying to hold him, not trying to get to the bell. I'll be trying to take him out. So that's I think why I'm popular here, is because of that. It's people respect people that fight, not when you come in and try and kind of treat it like a sport and try and score points and just try and do enough to get the decision or whatever. I'm always trying to fight, and I'm putting my health at risk when I fight. I don't care what happens to me. I just want to put on an exciting fight. That's always my number one thing, even above winning, is that I want the fight to be exciting. That's what I always think about.
Yeah, and then finally from me, in terms of the fight, obviously you talked a little bit about the advantages, but what would you say is the prediction for the fight, if you do have one, in terms of how you see it playing out, or the ideal way of which the fight plays out for you?
I'd love to say, KO in the first round or second round, but honestly, what I'm kind of picturing and what I've been preparing for is just a unbelievably hard 25 minutes for both of us, and a very exciting fight. And I think I can win enough of those minutes and have enough of those exchanges going my way, in my favor, that I'll get my hand raised at the end. But I think that's what it's going to be. 25 minutes, absolute war. Really exciting fight. And I think I can beat Benson in a contest like that.
Perfect. Well, that is everything from me. Obviously, there you go. You've got the statement of what you can expect to see on the fight. It's a big card as well. Obviously, you've got lots of big names on there, with yourself included. But if you just want to take a chance to any social media platforms, anything like that, sponsors, etc., obviously just feel free to go ahead, buddy.
No, I'm good, brother. My social media is just my name, at Peter Queally. So if anyone wants to follow me there, you can catch me there on Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, well, that's everything from me. As always, I do really appreciate your time, buddy. It's greatly appreciated. I look forward to seeing the fight in the free arena. Thank you very much for it, buddy.
Okay, Joe. Good man. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.